Right now, a Madison neighborhood dealing with multiple violent incidents over the past few days, what community leaders believe is the only way to fix the issue. Plus, a manhunt underway for a person of interest in the New York subway attack that left 23 injured. The piece of evidence police found at the scene that tipped them off. And later, the DOT giving you a chance to give your thoughts on what future plans for the Beltline should look like. It's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Strong winds from storms wreaking havoc on roads. This was the scene along Interstate 35 up in Minnesota earlier this afternoon. Multiple semis were knocked over by those winds, and these storms are now moving into the Wisconsin, at least kind of knocking at our door, right, Gary? What's the latest?
Yeah, we're watching these storms move across Iowa and Minnesota. Right now, they're west of La Crosse, but we've already had one batch move through the La Crosse area and into central Wisconsin. You can see the severe weather reports that we had. A lot of these in central Wisconsin were from this afternoon, but new severe weather developing in western Iowa is now moving eastward into north central Iowa as we speak. You can see wind gusts to 67 miles per hour earlier this afternoon in La Crosse at the airport. Now the main severe weather threat is over southeastern Minnesota and north central Iowa. A number of severe thunderstorm warnings in effect there for the potential for high winds, hail, and those yellow shaded boxes are severe thunderstorm warnings where a tornado could develop quickly in there. So again, we're keeping an eye on these storms as they track eastward, eventually reaching the La Crosse area in the next couple of hours and then the rest of southern Wisconsin overnight. High temperatures today made it in the mid-60s after starting out in the lower 30s early this morning, but now temperatures are in the upper 50s in Madison, lower 60s to the south and west, but more importantly, those dew point temperatures have come up about 20 to almost 30 degrees. That means the air is getting much more humid. The alert day remains in the forecast through tomorrow afternoon until a cold front comes through and drops the severe weather threat, but high winds, hail, perhaps an isolated tornado, all a possibility through about midday tomorrow. Then notice those temperatures drop off later in the afternoon, and behind the cold front, winds pick up and temperatures drop quite a bit for the rest of the week. I'll have more on that in the forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Gary, thank you, and stay up to date on the weather through our First Warn Forecast Weather app. It has hourly forecast, road conditions, and the latest radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. And if you're looking for some tips on how to prepare for the storm, go to channel3000.com, and there you'll find several of the stories that our weather team put together last week for Severe Weather Awareness Week. Just click on the Weather tab to find those stories.
It's not necessary. There are too many resources here in the Madison area for people to feel like they don't have any help.
Over just the past 5 days, Madison police have responded to 4 separate shots-fired incidents, all of them in the city's Allied Duns Marsh neighborhood. The latest last night on Allied Drive, where police found 10 shell casings. Brad Hamilton speaking with community leaders who are trying to figure out what to do here, Brad.
Violence cannot be tolerated. That was the message tonight from a former neighborhood president, Alice Howard, who believes change can happen.
21 years ago, Alice Howard decided to make a change in her life for the better.
I used to come here just to be here and be part of the problem. But when I moved over here, I came to be a part of the solution.
Taking over as president of the Allied Marsh Duns Neighborhood Association in 2001, Howard spent the next 2 decades helping the neighborhood she once felt that she hurt.
Selling in the streets to just robbery, burglary, all that, we got past it.
But with 4 incidents of shots fired in just the past week, Howard is worried that this place she loves so much is moving backward.
The shooting and all the disruption, it doesn't have to happen. We've already been there. I thought we had moved forward and past it.
Howard stepped down from her role last month, but believes the only way to fix the violence is to come together as one. And new president, Shanita Roach, agrees.
You know, every shooting, every act of violence does affect the community. We cannot get away from that. But we will become more communal if we have more communication.
Howard and Roach say they are both committed to making sure the neighborhood continues to progress because regression is just simply not an option.
We all have a responsibility. I'm talking about from the young all the way to the old. And we have a responsibility for one another.
If you have any information regarding any of these 4 incidents, please call Madison Area Crime Stoppers.
Brad, thank you. 2 people are in jail after a shooting. Happened on the Beltline this afternoon. The eastbound lanes were closed while officers investigated. It has since reopened. 1 car hit during the shooting. No one was hurt. Police believe the shooting was targeted. A teenager charged in a deadly shooting in Beloit is being held on a $500,000 cash bond. Amari Goodall made his initial appearance in Rock County Court today. He is facing one count of first-degree reckless homicide in connection with a January fatal shooting of Jayon Broomfield outside Beloit Memorial High School. Goodall set to appear in court again on May 2nd. Dane County Jail attempting to help its residents who are fighting an opioid addiction. The sheriff's office introducing a new medical assistance treatment program today. It'll allow the jail's nurses to administer the prescription drug Subutex to people already being treated with the medication before they entered the jail. In the past, residents wouldn't be allowed to take the drug, which would then set them back in their recovery.
Our ultimate goal is to reduce recidivism. When we reduce recidivism, we reduce the jail population. By reducing the jail population, we decrease the crime rates. By decreasing the crime rates, we increase public safety, and we reduced criminal justice budgets.
That is Sheriff Calvin Barrett. He says the program could expand beyond continuing care in the future. A GOP candidate for state attorney general wants most of the people who sit on the state's election board removed for cause. Fond du Lac County DA Eric Toney says Wisconsin elections commissioners issued illegal guidance and should be prosecuted. At a news conference, Toney admitted he has limited authority to go after members of the WEC. That's because charges of misconduct in office have to be brought by DAs in the counties where those commissioners live.
Fond du Lac County does not have venue, and so being that we don't have venue, I still believe it's important and crucial that those board members be held accountable through whatever means are available.
Now, Toney says he could pick up the case if local DAs decline to prosecute after a set period of time. Now, this stems from concerns over guidance the WEC issued over special voting deputies who help people living in nursing homes vote. Police have now identified a person of interest after that mass shooting on a subway train in Brooklyn, New York. 23 people were hurt. None of those injuries are life-threatening. Elise Preston reports from Brooklyn.
The morning rush hour attack terrorized a subway station in Brooklyn, New York.
We are truly fortunate that this was not significantly worse than it is.
Police say a man wearing a construction vest and helmet detonated 2 smoke canisters on the Manhattan-bound train and opened fire, shooting at least 33 times as the train pulled into the station, striking 7 men and 3 women.
There was people screaming for medical assistance. It was just a scary moment.
Police found a key to a U-Haul truck at the scene and later Tuesday located the truck parked in Brooklyn. Investigators say a man identified as 62-year-old Frank James rented the truck in Philadelphia. They're calling him a person of interest.
We are endeavoring to locate him to determine his connection to the subway shooting, if any.
Police say James possibly made concerning comments online about homelessness, New York City, and Mayor Eric Adams, whose security has been increased.
We're just doing it just to be on the safe side.
President Biden was briefed on the shooting and said the Department of Justice and the FBI are working closely with the NYPD here on the ground.
My wife Jill and I are praying for those that are injured and all those touched by that trauma. And we're grateful for all the first responders who jumped into action, including civilians.
Police say they don't have any information yet about the gunman's motivation. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
A $50,000 reward is being offered for information that leads to an arrest. Police recovered a 9mm handgun at the scene, as well as 2 undetonated smoke canisters, some gasoline, a hatchet, fireworks, and a fuse. Next at 10, new COVID cases in Wisconsin are rising with an average of 640 new cases each day over the past week. But Dane County says you can keep your mask put away for now. In a statement this morning, Public Health Madison Dane County said it's continuing to monitor local metrics and will adjust as needed, but there are no plans right now to reinstate a mask mandate. Dane County, of course, the last county in the state with a mask mandate. As more restrictions come to an end, we're learning more Americans no longer fear COVID-19. A new Axios Ipsos poll finds fewer than 10% of people view the pandemic as a crisis right now. 3 out of 4 people call it a manageable problem. The poll is based on a national sample of 1,000 adults last week. Costco ending one of its COVID-era rules. Beginning next week, stores will no longer have special hours for senior customers. For about 2 years now, people at least 60 years old, healthcare workers, and first responders who had several dedicated shopping hours throughout the week. Bedding company Serta Simmons will build a new manufacturing facility in Janesville. The new 500,000 square foot facility will be located on Innovation Drive. It'll manufacture products for both the Serta and Beauty Rest brands. Slated to open in 2023, it'll initially employ over 300 people with plans to add additional general production and warehousing jobs over the next few years. Serta Simmons' existing facilities in Janesville and Beloit will be consolidated when this new one opens. The Department of Transportation wants your input on the future of the Beltline. The DOT hosted the first of 2 public meetings tonight to give people a chance to talk about long-range plans for the Beltline. Officials say this new study will help them identify solutions for safety, accessibility, and mobility issues.
We currently have the Beltline Flex Lane project that's under construction. That's really an interim fix to improve travel time reliability. With the Beltline Pell study, we're looking at longer-term solutions to the Beltline needs, improving bike and ped access, some new crossings of the Beltline. So this is really a long-term planning study.
The DOT doesn't expect to begin any projects connected to the study for the next 10 to 15 years. Now, if you missed tonight's meeting, there will be another one tomorrow beginning at 5 o'clock, and that'll be at the Village on Park in Madison. Well, check out this video. It was just released. It shows the view from inside a Milwaukee County bus as it slams into the back of a parked ambulance. This was in December. The bus driver, 2 EMS workers, and the patient they were treating all got hurt. County officials say the driver was not impaired, got a good night's sleep before the crash, and had 20 years of experience on the job. So what happened? That's still the big question here, and the case is still open. In the meantime, the driver is on desk duty, and police say she could end up facing criminal charges. Comedian and actor Gilbert Gottfried has died. Cause of death said to be a rare genetic muscle disease that can trigger a dangerously abnormal heartbeat. Rising to fame back in the 1990s with his stand-up comedy act, he was known for his distinct voice, which he employed in his role as Iago in the Disney classic Aladdin. Gottfried leaves behind a wife and 2 children. Gilbert Gottfried, 67 years old. Still ahead, a new kind of ice cube could become a game changer for food shipping, and the U.S. looking into whether chemical agents were used in Ukraine as Russian forces shift their focus toward the eastern part of the country. Stay with us.
Madison Magazine's Best of Madison 2022. Vote for your favorites online, including Fry Construction for Best Kitchen and Bath Design, Best Roofer, and Best Window and Doors. Vote Fry Construction at MadisonMagazine.com.
Don't get stuck with internet and TV that costs more and does less. Set yourself free with Spectrum and get it all from one provider. Get Spectrum Internet with enough speed for all your devices all at once with speeds of 200 megabits.
Whoa. That's fast.
Plus, get a free modem and free desktop security to keep you safe online. Get Spectrum Internet for $49.99 a month. Call 833-605-4999. And don't get stuck with the same old TV. Multiply your screens. Spectrum TV with a free Spectrum TV app lets you watch here, there, and everywhere. Stream live TV, sports, news, and more on any device. Plus, access up to 85,000 on-demand titles. Get Spectrum TV from $49.99 a month. Call 833-605-4999. Don't get stuck paying more for less. Pick and choose the services you need. Spectrum Internet or TV, or get them both for $49.99 a month each. All with no contracts. Call 833-605-4999.
At Weedman Lawn Care, we believe that a lush, beautiful lawn should be enjoyed by the whole family. That's why we offer a kid and pet-friendly program to create a healthier, greener, weed-free lawn that your whole family can enjoy. Our program includes effective applications of targeted weed control and slow-release golf course quality fertilizer to achieve real results. Call or click today for your free quote, or sign up now and see the Weedman difference. Doesn't your family deserve a Weedman lawn?
There are so many things we take for granted, and along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for granted too. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy, water, and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
Announcing Madison Magazine's Best of Madison 2022. Vote for your favorites online, including Fry Construction for Best Kitchen and Bath Design, Best Roofer, and Best Window and Doors. Vote Fry Construction at MadisonMagazine.com.
Signs of spring are back in the 608. Josh Breider takes us to the Union Terrace as those sunburst chairs come out.
And the top story will be the alert day in store. That's as more rounds of showers and thunderstorms continue to move our way. That's tomorrow morning from 4:30 to 7.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
President Biden believes Russia may be committing genocide in Ukraine, and the evidence is mounting, though he added the lawyers will decide if Russia's attacks meet the legal definition of genocide. The U.S. says it's investigating reports that Russia used chemical agents in the city of Mariupol. The Ukrainian officials say at least 10,000 civilians have been killed there since the invasion began. The city continues to be under siege as Russians refocus their attention and firepower toward eastern Ukraine.
It's obvious that the Russians want Mariupol because of its strategic location. It would provide them unfettered and unhindered land access between the Donbass and Crimea.
Russian President Vladimir Putin lashing out at Western sanctions, warning his country will not be isolated. He also said his military operations will continue in Ukraine until he meets his goals. Well, get ready. Gas prices could once again be on the rise. Crude oil prices soaring back above $100 a barrel today. This as OPEC slashed its forecast for this year's Russian oil production. OPEC did upgrade its U.S. oil production projection this year, but the additional oil coming from the U.S. does not equal what could be slashed from Russia's production. In fact, the extra U.S. oil is expected to be less than half the amount of barrels forecast to be cut from Russia's output. President Biden will broaden sales of 15%, the E15 ethanol gas, to help with rising prices. Made that announcement during a tour of a biofuel plant in Iowa. The EPA usually prohibits the sale of E15 from June to mid-September. A waiver could make it available now year-round. Researchers at the University of Cal Davis are developing a recyclable ice cube. The game-changing material is called jelly ice. It stays just as cold for just as long as traditional ice, but one key difference: it doesn't melt thanks to a gelatin membrane that traps water in its cube-like shape. Once chilled, the cube can be manipulated into any form. Researchers say this ice will revolutionize how food is kept cold while being shipped.
The whole development of jelly ice cube started with our concerns over the compromised food safety and food quality loss caused by temperature abuses in the food cold chain.
Cross-contamination and inadequate climate control across the supply chain are among the leading causes of food waste. According to a peer-reviewed study by the journal Global Environmental Change, nearly half of all seafood in the U.S. spoils before it even reaches the market. Wang says jelly ice, 90% water, 100% biodegradable, and can be reused more than a dozen times. A Madison tradition returns this weekend for its 50th year. This Saturday, more than 250 local producers will set up bright and early on the Capitol Square for the Dane County Farmers Market. But 50 years ago, back in 1972, there were only 5 farmers manning those booths. Organizers tell us the best part of the market is the exclusivity of Wisconsin products. The market will begin Saturday, 6:15, bright and early. It'll wrap up by 1:45 in the afternoon.
I have walked this stretch alone.
Now, music filling the Memorial Union Terrace this afternoon. That's just one day before the return of the Terrace Chairs. Today's surprise concert featured Madison-based singer-songwriter Sean Michael Dargan. The colorful sunburst chairs will return to the Terrace tomorrow morning, beginning at 9 o'clock. But you got to keep an eye on the weather and what we could be dealing with tonight and into tomorrow. Here's Gary with the latest.
Well, right now, the storms are rolling across Iowa and heading toward west central Wisconsin. We do have an alert day in the forecast overnight and into the day tomorrow for the possibility for severe thunderstorms that could produce hail and high winds, possibility of an isolated tornado, although that's a lot less here than it has been farther out to the west in Iowa. Case in point, you can see these are severe thunderstorm warnings that are coming out over and over again in north central Iowa. Right here is the Minnesota state line, and there's Winona, Minnesota, La Crosse right over here. So these storms are tracking in that direction. We've been seeing periodic wind circulations, and there is one here, but it's kind kind of a broad rotation, so we're not seeing tornado warnings, at least over the last hour. There were a number of tornado warnings before. In fact, we have a product called Shear Track that shows the track of the rotations, and you can see they've been moving steadily toward the northeast, a couple of areas of stronger rotation, just crossing into Minnesota, but for the most part, these storms have been weakening a little bit as far as the rotation is concerned. The rain and the hail threat still there, and these storms continue off. It's actually now the northern part of a line of thunderstorms that sweeps down to just east of Omaha, Nebraska, and continues to move across Iowa. So we're also watching some light rain develop here, but it's possible we could start to see some thunderstorm development over the next hour or two over southwestern Wisconsin. Severe weather threat highest across Iowa, where the tornado threat, especially across north central Iowa, still means the potential for an EF2 or stronger tornado, although the tornado threat will start to diminish during the overnight hours, but the hail and high wind threat will continue. Tomorrow, the severe weather threat shifts eastward. The highest severe weather threat over southeastern Wisconsin. The timing of a cold front is critical. The faster it moves through, the faster the severe weather will be out of here, and the sooner temperatures will start to cool down. Or a little, if it slows up a little bit, then we'll have to watch out for the possibility for a greater severe weather outbreak. On future track, you can see that line of storms out to the west. That moves to the east. Notice how it kind of weakens as it moves into southwestern Wisconsin overnight, but temperatures still stay in the 60s here. The cold front is back to the west, so the first round of storms just kind of outruns the support. But as that cold front moves eastward, and this is 8 a.m., it's just out to the west of us, probably into far southwestern Wisconsin. Temperatures in the 60s ahead of the front. Notice La Crosse already back into the 50s. So as that line of storms, or the cold front moves eastward, we'll probably see another line of storms develop. Again, the timing of the front is critical. Right now, it looks like it'll happen over or just to the east of Madison sometime early tomorrow afternoon. Watch how the thunderstorms develop there ahead of the front, but behind the front, by the time we get to tomorrow evening, temperatures drop back in the 40s and the severe weather threat is over here. Then behind the cold front on Thursday, we'll see partly sunny skies, but we could see some strong wind gusts in the 40 to 45 mile per hour range into at least Thursday evening. So overnight, look for temperatures to hold steady or slowly rise from the upper 50s into the low 60s. We'll see thunderstorms. Any thunderstorm could become severe with high winds and hail. Tomorrow, look for a high of 65 about midday. Thunderstorms will probably wind down after the cold front moves through during the afternoon, and temperatures will drop off as well. Again, future track, you can see these clusters of storms into tomorrow morning, and then a little bit of a weakening, and then they fire up again tomorrow afternoon right along and ahead of the cold front, and then by tomorrow evening, we're just down to rain showers as temperatures drop into the 40s. Heaviest rains to the east of Madison, where the storms fire up tomorrow afternoon, and to the north and west, where they've already gone through tonight. As we take a look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, notice the temperatures back in the mid-40s starting on Thursday through the Easter weekend. Maybe some rain and snow showers Monday and some rain showers Wednesday. We'll have to wait till the end of next week before we get back at least into the 50s.
And coming up in sports, Andrew McCutcheon willed the Badgers to a win in Baltimore. How the newest member of the crew got it done in the batter's box. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
People have been wondering, what's gotten into Lindsay? But it's really what Lindsay's gotten into, Planet Fitness. And now through April 14th, you can join for only $1 down and $10 a month. Join now and feel fit-tacular for $1 down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. But hurry, deal ends Thursday, April 14th.
At Hy-Vee, we take pride in being part of the communities we serve. In 2021, we donated more than 14 million meals, and this year, we're committed to doing even more. For over 90 years, we've been the place that people turn in time of need, and we take that very seriously. That's why we're loading our semis full of food this week and making deliveries across the Midwest to help families this Easter. To join our effort, simply donate when you're at the checkout. Together, we can make a big difference for those in need.
Broadway's Tony-winning Best Musical is Dear Evan Hansen. Dear Evan Hansen, May 10th to 15th at Overture Center. Find your tickets at overture.org today.
This is a town called Basic, where the townspeople are happy with a basic lifestyle. And that's a 2022 Nissan Altima, with more attitude, more style, and a powerful turbocharged engine to help put basic in your rear view forever. Looks like basic will never be the same. The 2022 Nissan Altima, anything but basic.
Now get 0.9% financing for up to 72 months on 14 models.
When an inland hurricane called a derecho cut a path through the Midwest, we learned some lessons. We learned that most buildings cannot withstand 140-mile-per-hour winds, not to mention most oak trees. We learned that when your roof is gone or there's a tree in your living room, even 8 hours is too long to wait. But most of all, we learned that in hardship, people take care of each other. And that has been our silver lining.
I love my new home. I always wanted a house with historic architecture, but it might be too Victorian.
Gosh, interesting hemline on those pants.
Yes, I do believe they're called pants.
Pardon me.
No, pardon me. At least Geico makes bundling my home and car insurance easy. I save so much.
I have come to call upon...
Just text me. Well, I'm heading up.
It's a ghost.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
It's called self-care.
Fresh out of Papa Murphy's kitchen, the Buffalo Ranch Chicken Pizza.
Actually, it's fresh out of my oven.
Dad, it's just an expression.
Grilled chicken, crunchy bacon, covered in creamy buffalo sauce. Now that is an expression.
Change the way you pizza.
People have been wondering, but it's really what Lindsay's gotten into, Planet Fitness. And now through April 14th, you can join for only $1 down and $10 a month. Join now and feel fit-tacular for $1 down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. But hurry, deal ends Thursday, April 14th.
Last spring was a learning experience for TJ Bowlers. It was the Wisconsin outside linebackers' first taste of Big Ten football and college life. So it was an adjustment. This spring, though, Bowlers has been turning heads. The redshirt freshman isn't thinking about what to do. Instead, he's just reacting. He knows the playbook, he's more comfortable on the field, and plans to be the program's next star in UW's long list of outside linebacker playmakers.
I feel like the biggest jump for me has really been mentally, just being able to focus more on my game and not really think while I'm out there playing right now. You know, it's allowed me to play fast.
TJ's been balling, man. Plain and simple, he's a baller. In practice, you see it on a pass rush. You know, he's getting off the ball pretty fast. You know, he's holding blocks down. Like, dude's a baller now. Like, be on the lookout for TJ. He's gonna do some great things.
It's been a year in the making for John Reeder, but it was worth it. For the last 7 days, Wisconsin RTC has been hosting Germany's under-20 team, training 2 times a day with each other to prepare for Thursday's Badger State clash when they square off against each other. Now, the trip to Madison is a first for the Germans. None of them have been to the United States before. And the wrestling part, well, it's been great, but their favorite part of the trip has been the food.
I saw them, we arrive here after the first training, they make big eyes like they was happy to be here. All these things around, we need to go to all the restaurants they know from TV and this, so they like it a lot.
We always see like stuff like the fast food stuff in US, and we've been trying lots of it, and like burger, chicken and stuff. It's not the best for us sportsmen, but if you're in the US one time, you gotta try it.
Brewers looking to even their series against the Orioles. Good news for the crew, they scored runs. That's because they signed Andrew McCutchen. 7th inning, tied at 4. McCutchen brings home what would be the game winner. A 3 RBI night for him. Brewers win 5-4. Another day, another honor for Giannis. The Bucks' big man was named the Eastern Conference Player of the Month for March and April. During that stretch, Giannis led Milwaukee to a 14-6 record while averaging over 31 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. The Bucks open up the playoffs Sunday against the Bulls. And Greg Gard has added a boost to his backcourt today when Kamari McGee announced he's going to transfer to Wisconsin. As a freshman at UW Green Bay, McGee averaged just under 12 points per game and was named to the Horizon League's all-freshman team. We're back after this.
It's Wow Wednesdays at Hy-Vee. This Wednesday, get chips for just $1.48. Wow, you heard that right. Get Lay's or Kettle Cooked chips for just $1.48. Wednesday only. Scan the QR code or check out HyVeeDeals.com for more deals.
In a world divided by tiny screens, you deserve to be entertained. You deserve a night together with maximum action and endless adventure. You deserve amazing food and actual in-person shopping where you can try something on and not have to mail it back. The answer is simple. The Midwest Horse Fair in Madison, Wisconsin, April 22nd through 24th. Be there.
There are so many things we take for granted, and along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for granted too. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy, water, and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
Things were really starting to turn worse for my mom. They basically said, that's all we can do.
Right to try is hope when there is no hope.
We had done research on the Zysami. Apparently it was still in stage 3 clinical trials.
She couldn't have that medication unless it was for the Right to Try Act and Senator Johnson's work.
This is 3 days after the treatment, and you can see the difference. You know, without the efforts of Senator Johnson, my mom wouldn't be here today.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Welcome back to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, where the action's really heating up.
Yeah, Jerry, let's go down to Tina and see what's happening.
Thanks, guys. We're here with Cheryl and Greg, and they just won the huge jackpot. What are you guys gonna do with all that cash?
We're gonna go to Fiji.
I'm gonna see my mom. Hi, Mom. They're going to visit Mom. Maybe they'll take her on vacation.
Oh, it looks like a great day for Cheryl and Greg.
Hey, I wish I could join them.
We've all been through a lot together, and along the way, you find out who really cares for you and who you can trust. Because there's a lot of stuff that happens in life, like those days when the amazing happens, or those days that are really, really hard. That's why you need someone like Unity Point Health. Because when it comes to your health, you gotta have someone you can trust. Unity Point Health Meritor, a partner of UW Health.
It's Wow Wednesdays at Hy-Vee. This Wednesday, get chips for just $1.48. Wow, you heard that right. Get Lay's or Kettle Cooked chips for just $1.48. Wednesday only. Scan the QR code or check out HyVeeDeals.com for more deals.
Call for action only on News 3 Now.
We go back to Gary, final check.
And severe thunderstorms right now concentrated west of La Crosse, right on the Minnesota-Iowa state line. Number of severe thunderstorm warnings there. The storms continue to track off toward the east. They'll head toward La Crosse first, but we could see more development over southern Wisconsin over the next few hours. Temperatures right now 50s and 60s, but dew point temperatures are climbing into the 60s to our south and west, so expect more storms overnight.
Gary, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10. Have a good night.